being a mother is just, it's absolutely incredible. I wouldn't trade this experience for anything else in the entire world. If I could do it all over again, I would do it the same way. Instead of ending my life, like people always say, it started a new chapter, and it started a better chapter for me. Harper is almost a year old. She was diagnosed with Bacterial Association at birth. Bacterial Association is a non-random linear constellation of birth defects that are not caused by any known genetic mutation. We've had tons of genetic testing done, both on me and Harper, and we couldn't find anything wrong. She has pretty much everything except for the L. L stands for limb defects, and Harper doesn't have any of those. She did have a vertebral anomaly. She had the anal atresia. She had a cardiac defect. She had the tracheoesophageal fistula, and she has a horseshoe kidney. Pretty much everything so far that can be taken care of via surgery has been done. Like, her esophagus has been repaired. She's had a colostomy placement. She has had an anus surgically created for her. Her heart has been repaired, and her spinal cord has been clipped to untether it. And for now, we're just doing speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy as needed, and just basic doctor follow-ups. We have a busy schedule. Since she was born, I mean, it has been resilience, strength. I mean, she's a little firecracker. She's just an incredible little human being. I found out that I was pregnant on accident. I had been working a waitressing job and had been, kind of nauseated, the kind of stuff that everybody associates with pregnancy, but I wasn't testing positive. And one night my nausea got so bad that I was throwing up blood. And we went to the emergency room, and they pumped my stomach and said, "Oh, there's no blood in your stomach contents. You're free to go home." But of course, they did the blood draw. And of course, in the emergency room, they test all women for pregnancy. And the doctor's leaving, and my husband and I, he's then my fiance, we were like, "Oh, man, this is lame. Of course, we're not going to find out what's wrong with me." And then about 5 seconds later, the doctor sticks his head back in and goes, "By the way, you're pregnant. Congratulations." I mean, it was an afterthought. My husband and I were just like, "What?" I turned and looked at him, and he was see-through. He was see-through. I had a pretty normal pregnancy until we found out the gender, but they said that they thought something was wrong with her heart. It was then that they diagnosed her with having some kind of heart defect, and she definitely had something wrong with her kidneys, and she also did not have a stomach bubble, which meant they thought she didn't have a fully formed esophagus. It was utterly overwhelming. You never expect it to happen to you, and when it does, it's just devastating. You wonder, what did I do wrong? I'm gonna cry. I remember I just would lay in bed while my husband was at work and just wonder what I did. What did I eat? Was I not taking care of myself the way that I was supposed to? What was it that I could have done to make the outcome different? But you kind of have to pull yourself up out of that, because thinking about it doesn't help. It makes it worse. And there's so much preparation you have to do. And it devastated me. But at the same time, I knew that, I had to rise up and I had to take care of this baby, because she's mine, and, I loved her. I still do. I love that baby more than anything in this entire world. And taking care of her was my first priority. Harper decided to make her appearance on December 21st. She decided she wanted to come 6 weeks early. I'm not an optimistic person, really, but, seeing her go through everything that she's gone through and come back from it has just made me believe that there is a little bit of good in this world. And it doesn't come from me being, angry and upset at the world for what's happened. It's making sure that I get her through everything and that she comes out fine at the end. Right now, we're not entirely sure what her, future prognosis is going to be. She's started crawling almost. She's able to sit up on her own. Her physical development has just kind of almost caught up to where she needs to be. And so we're just kind of hoping that she'll be as normal as possible. It's just one step at a time. The future is, overall, it's very bright for her. Her quality of life is going to be great. People that have sick kids or sick family members in general, just know that everything will work itself out. She's wearing a Supergirl outfit that my grandma found her, and that's a very accurate representation of Harper and kids that have Vactral Association, not just Harper. They're very resilient. They're superheroes. They can do anything that they want to do. I mean, her world has got endless avenues for her to travel down. We're just anxious and excited to see which one she picks.
Carve-out zones are a vital part of how the campus carry laws will be applied at Texas State, but most students do not know what they are.
No, I do not.
I do not.
I do not. Could you tell me?
Carve-out zones are places where guns will not be allowed.
Probably the large lecture halls. I feel like that would be a good place for something bad to happen with a lot of people. So probably those. Probably Alkek. There's always people in there.
The carve-out zones include places that children would be, such as the Child Development Center, the Speech, Language, Hearing, and Physical Therapy Clinic, or anywhere summer activities or camps will be held. Guns will also not be allowed at the Student Health Center, the President's House, and locations used for sporting events or polling.
And so I think those are good spots to have them because they protect the people who are there, because children need to be protected, as well as sporting events. People tend to be drinking alcohol. Those should be, guns should not be allowed in places where alcohol is sold. And so I think those are good zones.
Most students agree with where the carve-out zones are placed.
I mean, you got to protect the little kids, the Child Development Center. I walk past it all the time on my way to the rec, right? And the health center, it just makes sense.
Some students believe that carve-out zones should also be extended to classrooms and residence halls.
I feel like they should be in the classrooms, because if they're not in the classrooms, that doesn't stop one person from killing a whole class.
To learn more about carve-out zones at Texas State, go to the Office of the President's website. For Bobcat Update, I'm Macy Neel. The Texas Association Against Sexual Assault is trying to boost awareness and show support for victims. The group has started what it calls a Turn Texas Teal movement, which is focused on prevention.
To educate people, especially in a college environment, it's a place that has high risks of those kinds of things going on around here. So it's good to educate, in an area that is all about educating.
The group is asking Texans to take to social media like Facebook, Twitter, Vine, and Instagram to share their stories, words of encouragement, or call to action.
I feel like it's definitely really important to get out there and educate people about it, especially if it's something that can be prevented.
The organization is also asking universities to get involved in spreading the word.
All kind of work together to form a team to kind of show what's happening in our community.
To get involved in the movement, use hashtag TurnTexasTeal and show your support. For Bobcat Update, I'm Macy Neel.